Hello everybody, this is Purge and I'm bringing you guys a very special video. I'm going to be doing a how to outlane noobs video, and I know this is pretty important for a lot of people because they generally don't understand a lot of lane properties, and I'm going to figure a couple things out from that. So Twisco is going to be the noob that I'm going to be attempting to outlane. Let's see. So let's see. Let's press on pause. I'm going to be going gold, and I want 673. Wait, no, 973. 73. Whoops. That's okay. Alright, so anyways, I have to fix a couple other things too. I forgot to change my cursor speed. What I'm basically going to be doing is demonstrating some basic lane properties against a player who is not very good, or at least where the skill level is very different. So we're just going to use a couple cheats here so that I can get a courier. This is going to assume that I have normal allies in my game, and I'm going to go for very basic line starting items, so you guys will just have to take my word for it. This is what I normally get on a starting line. I should have 100 gold on top of this left over, but unfortunately that's not the case because I screwed up my gold sheet. So we're going to go over basic lane properties and ways that I'm going to outlane a worse player. If Twisco can score kills on me, it is forever immortalized on my YouTube channel, so that is his winnings from this. But I had him pick a melee hero for this first game, so he's still going to have options to use against me, but we'll see how it ends up going. So I decided to pick a hero that allow me to spam spells for harass, as well as have a ranged attack advantage over him. So I should be able to outlane him pretty heavily because I know he's not that great at Purge. If I do get hooked, I'll be in some trouble, but it's not going to be the end of the world. So just keep in mind, since I messed up my gold, I should have 603 less gold right now. So keep that in mind. So if I want to buy something, I'm going to have an extra 600 gold. So my block ended up being a little crappy. I'll let the ranged creep squeak past. Hopefully that can die first, and it will take some range damage. So it's going to die pretty early here. And this is going to be the first level of me dominating. Now it looks like Twisco is AFK, which is a little weird. So I'm going to get a little bit of experience here. Not the best example. Where is he at, man? Obviously important to get as many last hits as possible. Does he have an invisibility or something weird? I don't even know. Yep, and there's the invisibility. I figured that one out. Alright, so right off the bat, what did he accomplish there? The answer is nothing. So he did a little bit of damage to me. That's about it. For the record, I haven't played Dota in like 2 or 3 days, so I'm a little rusty, but since I am a ranged hero, I should have a ranged advantage. And what I can do is just throw attacks at him like this. Now, it's going to mess up some of my last hits here, but that is okay. Always throwing in those extra attacks is going to make a difference. And it looks like his starting item build is really bad, actually. He just has a gauntlet and, oops, traded a deny there for a last hit, which is not the best trade, but you know, his starting item builds are not very good. So that's the first thing that I can exploit. I can say he only has a healing salve. He got a magic wand start, but that was pretty stupid. And all of a sudden I can trade like way more hits on him than he gets on me. I have to be a little careful because of creeps doing a lot of damage to me, but as you can see, what I just did there, I threw an earth spike that did damage to creeps, got me last hits, and I did damage to Twisco then. So I already have a lot of gold. Once again, we're going to have to unfortunately do a little bit of mental math here. I have 600 less gold than I should, so I'm actually very close to my bottle here. Yes. Part of that is because I had a little bit of leftover, but once again, I can do a couple more hits off on him. He's probably going to try to hook me, but it's okay. I'm not going to let him do that. And I would eat a tango, but I'm going to have to be a little careful. So I'm actually going to swing back, grab this, and I should be able to buy my bottle now. Once again, 600 gold. Oops, transfer. Hotkey my hero. Once again, I'm going to do a stun that's going to get me a last hit and do damage to him. And what does he have for regen? He has nothing, and he hasn't been getting any last hits, and all of a sudden, I'm in a ridiculously good spot against this Purge. I could probably even kill him right now because he's going to be stupid. I should have told you that. That was a waste of mana. That was a pretty big mistake, but that's okay. Should have kept pushing my advantage instead of spending my hex mana like that. So now I'm kind of low on mana, is the only downside. This is going to become more of an issue once I get closer to level 6. But that's okay. So for now I force him out of lane just by having better last hitting, by having better items, and I'm looking pretty well. Not to mention I have lots of last hits. 12 last hits, 7 denies. So he is slightly shut down by that fact alone. And continuing to deny pretty much everything he has. So I don't really expect him to land a hook on me either, as long as my positioning is always good, and I understand the tools that he has, which is pretty much rotting and last hitting. I know he got the 0-minute rune. I don't know if he has the 2-minute actually, so I maybe should have checked. Oops, that's not the dude I wanted to attack. That's too bad. But as this last creep wave dies, I'm just going to quickly glance top. And there's not going to be a rune there, but that's okay. And you always want to check top rune over bottom rune usually. So like that catapult, yes, he will steal one of my kills. It's like he finished a magic wand, another really bad decision. And already, he's completely out of regen. He has absolutely no regen. So any damage that I do to him right now is going to hurt big time. So what I'm going to do now is, unfortunately, I have to kind of like defend this wave. I want to go check to see if there's a rune top, but I won't be able to do so because otherwise my tower is going to take a lot of damage. So I'll just pull the creep wave past here. In the meantime, this is actually going to let him get rune control if he really wants to. So that's a little bit of an issue with the situation here. But, oops. Oh god. There we go. Okay, only got one of those, but that's okay.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Hotkeys are a little sloppy here. So he's possibly getting rune control at the moment. He could be coming to gank, and yes, there he is. That's why you always move. I'm not even going to get that last hit. I just want to do more hits on him. Free hits, free hits, free hits. So now I'm going to check the rune. I don't know if he ended up grabbing one, but if not, it will be top, and it is gone. So he must have grabbed a rune. I don't know if it was a regen or something, but so he does have that. My mana is the important part. I have 370 or 345 to be able to cast a stun combo, and look at that. He even tries to get a stun off on a creep, and I get a couple more hits in. I can probably kill him right now. I do have the mana, and that's the important part. He has 500 HP, and I'm going to be doing 200 damage and 500 damage. So we'll see if I can score a kill. I could have denied that creep, but I'm going to wait till he makes one more mistake, and then I'm going to murder him, and that's going to absolutely set my outlaning into good levels. So even if he got a hook off on me at this point, he knows that he's pretty much screwed anyway. So I'm going to start this off probably by a last hit stun, which is what I was looking for there. And I will get that off, 2 attacks, and here, now we'll get the first blood. So make sure that you guys attack in between each disable. It's really important. If you don't do that, you're at a much higher chance of just not doing enough damage. Like even my finger of death there was a little scary because I had to do 400 damage, and he had I'm sorry, I had 500 damage to do, and he had 400 HP. So it was actually very close that I wasn't going to be able to kill him with that. It is now 6 minutes. I'm going to stun him, and now I'm going to attack him a few times. Oh shit, I'm going to die now. Unless he is an idiot, and I get a free kill. Oh, that's hilarious. I did not deserve that kill. I absolutely deserved to die, because I did not back off after he chased me, but got lucky. Alright, so let's buy boots. Let's buy a magical wand. I still have 900 gold left, so let's even buy... I don't know. Let's buy phase boots. That's what we're going to do. Now this is kind of a weird situation where I'm already at a pretty big gold advantage, partially because he made such a stupid mistake, but there's always still room for error. So despite me outlaning the crap out of him in the early game, I only got 1 kill, but the main important part was that I forced him away from lane, which means he's not going to be getting experience, he's not going to be getting good farm there. I mean, that's really important, but I still made a mistake, and that's oftentimes me as a player, how I end up losing the most is because I do stupid shit like that, where I make one big mistake, end up dying, and everything I worked for so far is completely wasted in a way. So I did hear him get another last hit. I think he is checking top rune maybe. I'm not quite sure. He may end up having, I don't know if he actually has wards up or something, but I will pop the invisibility now. I'll pop my bottle up once. We'll see if I can get some good damage. He still does not have any regen. So there is the stun. I'm going to get some extra hits in just to be annoying. Once again, he doesn't have any regen at all because he decided to get a magic wand first, which is really stupid. He needed at least like a bottle or something, and I'm going to score another kill. And now I just have to dodge a hook, potential hook that's coming. And I'm going to bottle up from this, use my phase boots to run past. And the nice thing about the phase boots in this case is it makes me very quick, so in case he does get a rod off, I'm still going to be survivable. And that's just kind of curtailing my item build to end up countering him a little bit more effectively. So this creep wave, I want it to die, so I'm actually going to use my abilities to get lots of last hits and push, so now he has to worry about defending. It does put me in a dangerous mana pool situation, but that's okay. And once again, Rune not going to be top. I'm really unlucky on runes this game, so if this was a normal situation where I was actually bottling runes a lot, this could have been a lot more effective, but so far things are going okay. So this is starting to move out of the laning phase of this game. But, you know, I'm going to wait till about 10 minutes here for each of these examples. Now, people, whenever I play a line, people always argue that mana drain is the way to go. And I would have mana now if I did have mana drain, but I would also not have a beast hex. So when you end up ganking other lanes, mana drain ends up being really important. And that's something that I would not have. And what is Tony doing right now? No frickin' idea. He could be healing, he could be waiting for a hook to get off, but all you have to do is stand in the creeps like this. He's not going to get one of these hooks off, and even if he does, I'm going to be really surprised about it. And at this point, I have such a level advantage that I can just sit in my lane, get complete free farm and denies and things like that, and there's not much that he can do about it. And this just shows you how big of a difference it is. If somebody is way more skilled than you in lane, it's ridiculous. Like, I have such a free farm advantage right now, I have such a gold advantage, and there's really not a whole bunch that he can do. I get pretty much every last hit, I get pretty much every deny. How much time did he just spend there trying to get that hook off? He did have a double damage, which is cool and all, but once again, making that magic wand, big waste of his money. He spent money on a magic stick at the early game, which didn't really give him anything at all, and all those decisions are very important to make, and by making those mistakes, he basically put himself in a position that was not going to be winnable for him, where he basically said, well, I decided to get those items first, but you know, did he get anything out of the magic wand? I cast once in a while, but not very often. Now there's another rune in 10 seconds. I'm going to go pick that up, and then I'm going to pretty much end the game. Next kill I get on Tony will be very soon here, and I expect it to be beautiful. So it's like, that's a whisper. I have a lot of sunlight block here. So after this creep wave dies, phase boot, sprinting, and even if I find him at one of these runes, it's not a big deal. So, God, seriously unlucky. Alright, so pretty much he's going to play like a sissy. He's not in lane. I don't know if I'm going to get another kill here, but that's okay. I'm going to throw a stun down just to push the lane a little bit. I'm going to pick up some stats just so I'm more survivable. And he is probably just sitting and waiting for a hook. So this game's pretty much over. Alright, if you're not going to show, we can just restart. So I think that's a pretty good demonstration of me dominating the lane there. And we can go on to the next game. So, are you there, Tony?
Yeah, I'm here, yep.
Alright, we'll go on to the next game. I think I demonstrated winning that lane. Oh, good victory, good victory. Alright, let's go next. Okay.
I just tried to control the runes, that's all I did that game.
Yeah, you suck dick. Pretty much. First of all, you shouldn't have got a magic stick at start. You had one salve, which I exploited, of course, because then you had no HP. And then you built a magic wand, which is also stupid. You need to get some like stable HP regen so you can continue to like last hit. And once you couldn't get any last hit controls, I had a ridiculous advantage. So that's what happened there.
Yeah.
Alright, so next thing that we're gonna do, I'm gonna pick. Let's switch positions. How about you will play a. How about let's both do ranged heroes now? I just demonstrated very well that I had a ranged advantage. Once I could force you out of lane, you know, it's pretty much over, right? So why don't we both pick a ranged hero now? I'll pick a different ranged hero. You can pick whatever ranged hero you like, and we can get going on that. And I won't fuck up the gold this time.
What did you do with the gold that time?
I thought when you typed gold, it would update your gold to a certain amount. I didn't realize it would add that to your current total, so I ended up giving myself like an extra 600 gold, but I never overspent on it. Okay.
Oh.
So I'm going to pick a ranged
hero. Did you buy a bottle
now.
right away?
No, I didn't cheat at all. My gold total was messed up the whole time, and I just had to do mental math. Alright, so I'm going to pick another ranged hero. Let's go with. I feel like doing Leshrac here. No, I'm going to do an Ancient Apparition. Alright, so I'm picking Ancient Apparition. We'll see who Twisco. He may just counterpick me, but either way, we'll see if I can outlane him. Not a big deal. Once again, kind of a similar role as Line. I have nukes to use. I can get last hits. I don't have an AoE, unfortunately, so I won't be able to do the same tricks where I get last hits and get a couple hits in, but it's still going to be the same general thing, except this time we're doing range versus range. So when you're doing range versus range, it's much less important to have survivability. It's much more important to have last hitting power. So Let's cheat once again, get 370 gold. It's going to give me a courier and a flying courier. So there's my flying courier, and I'm going to buy some starting items. He is doing a Huskar, which is really weird. I should be able to outlane this, but he is going to have pretty good last hitting power. So why don't I grab... is my stream really lagging? Don't know if it is. Let me check chat. Apparently there's some lags going on. I'm not really sure. I can restart stream really quick. I'll turn it off and I will turn it back on. I think my resolution is still fine. I don't know. I'm just gonna focus on the game for now. I'll get back into this. I'm gonna buy a circlet. I'm gonna buy 2 ironwood branches, and I'm gonna make sure that I get a pretty good amount of regen, because if he does get some burning spears off on me, things could be iffy. So I'm gonna do something like this, and then maybe like I'm even gonna buy 2 clarity potions, just so that I have a little bit more mana in the lane. I will miss my block here, which is a pretty big mistake, because now the creep wave is going to be more towards his side than mine, so that's another important thing when you're outlining somebody, is now he's going to be attacking down, and I'm going to be attacking up to hit him. I still think I'm going to be able to make the good decisions and outlane him, though. Hypothetically, he has a pretty good lane here against me, but I'm not too worried about it.
I'm going to let you have that block.
That's okay, I messed up too. It looks like he actually
I didn't even block it all.
He ends up getting a double damage at start, which means that he should be last hitting everything. He actually missed that one. But this is going to give me 45 seconds of unknowingness. So he will be able to get last hits there. And when somebody has a double damage like that, you have to be careful not to let him get hits off on you. Because if you do let him get hits... I'm sorry, that's an advertisement. Oh my god, seriously.
Somebody made a stinky.
On my Twitch TV. I'm closing it. There we go. Alright, I had to close my dashboard. I ran... Since the stream restarted, there was an ad that was ran, so I didn't, I had to hear that, which is unfortunate. Alright, so his double damage is now off. Things are much more equal. I can get hits on him. He generally is scary. I can't really go one-on-one with him there, because he can out-damage me, but I can throw little attacks in and things like that. And I'm going to pull the creep wave pass now. And I will be picking up Ice Vortex, of course, because I do, I could have maybe gotten that last hit. A little sloppy play by me, but... I can now start to do a little bit more aggressive. As you can see, he's playing totally passive. He doesn't know what to do now because he doesn't understand the lane matchup very well, and that's something that I can now use to my advantage. So look at that. He throws a burning spear. Doesn't actually get damage out of his second one. He did. We'll see if he wants to commit to this. One important thing about heroes like Huskar and Viper, yeah, they do a lot of damage early, for sure. Their orbs are very, very good. But the most important thing is to just trade hits. If you trade hits, you're both taking damage. You both have regen. And then what happens is he has to eat regen as well. So despite him getting good hits off on me early, he's using burning spears effectively and whatever, but once again I'm trading hits, and that's absolutely fine. He ended up missing again, and now all of a sudden he's kind of in a weird position. Now most noob players, I would argue, would run away from Huskar every time he attacks, or they'd run away from Viper every time he attacks, but really the time where you have an advantage is in the early game here. It looks like he's going to go check a rune again, because he's been really... all about that. I'm going to check top rune here.
You don't have to bother, I got it.
Okay. So he ends up getting the rune on the bottom. Something I would argue in a normal situation that he should not be the one grabbing runes like this. I'm just going to check to see if that's an illusion. No, that's the real one. So it looks like it was probably a regen rune. So I just wanted to make sure that was an illusion so that he didn't get behind me like this. I don't think his decision making is that high of a caliber in Dota yet, but I'm going to pick up another Ice Vortex. I could be spamming spells on him this whole time, but part of the thing is he hasn't really been aggressive. He's been playing like a total sissy. If he was playing more aggressive, I would be more willing to just be like right now. So now I'm going to cast Ice Vortex. He's going to have to worry about getting frozen, and I'm going to get a bunch of extra hits in here.
That was a nice
he just got frozen. So that's kind of the stuff that I was talking about. I wanted to wait until he decided to be aggressive before I wanted to use Ice Vortex. If he's already playing more passive, then when I was just talking, I had to press Alt to use a hotkey. So he was already playing very passive. If I decide to be aggressive in his passive mindset, it's most likely going to result in him backing up in time. So as a result of him being aggressive there, I was able to get the cold feet off because he was being aggressive and therefore didn't make the right decision in time. And I'm still outlast hitting him, in my opinion. So I'm going to vision him on the high ground. He doesn't have a lot of HP, so at the very least I can still be annoying. And I have used my clarity potion. Let's bring my bottle to me now. And it's not something that Ancient Apparitions usually get on side lanes, but on the mid lane it works out right now. So I can do stuff like this. I can just cast cold feet on him, and he's forced to back up. I don't even have to spend the money or the mana on an ice vortex, and all of a sudden he's going to start losing the lane. So he's kind of lost his area of viability in a lot of ways. There is another rune up, and it looks like I'm going to go check to see if it's top. Am I going to get lucky? Oh my god, dude, this is the most unlucky I've ever gotten with runes. Apparently it is always bottom, so now he's going to grab another rune. Another mistake, though. He does not need to be checking runes. He's losing EXP at the moment. He's so concerned about out-runing me that he's going to lose advantage. So I am missing some last hits, but it doesn't really matter. I haven't lost any experience yet. I'm level 5. He is level 5 as well. Alright, let's see if he decides to be aggressive, and he is going to, and that's going to... Okay, it's an illusion, so good play by him. That was good. Thought that was going to be a guaranteed kill. So I spent actually kind of a lot of mana on that. That was about 240. But once again, I do have a bottle. I'm just going to figure out which one of these is real. I'm assuming it's the one in the back, and yes, it is. So I'm just going to kill that just to make sure I don't have to deal with it. He has HP. Once again, he makes a magic wand. Not a good play. In a solo mid situation, man, it is not good to spend your early mana on that, in my opinion. So he hasn't spent his regen quite yet, so things are still going pretty equal, but I feel like I have a pretty good advantage here. Pro last hitting, am I right? Alright, so now I have my ulti. Well, what is he? I don't even...
Stupid
He's
top.
so bad.
Shouldn't have engaged that close.
That was really bad. Alright. Let's pop myself. I'm going to heal up. That was a pretty big mistake by him, so not exactly the best example of outlaning somebody, but somebody making a huge mistake like that in a noob lane, yeah, that's going to give you advantage as well. Now, I shouldn't have checked that. It was the rune actually hasn't spawned yet, so that happens, and I'm going to pick up let's get a bracer, and I want to buy boots as well, so let's do that. I'll bring that to me on the courier. I'm going to try to get a solo kill. Do I have enough mana? I need 240. Okay, I need 340, so I have enough mana to try to get a solo kill. Oh my god. Give me that last hit. See if he ults me. He's thinking about it. Doing a little bit of burning damage to me, but now I have pretty good survivability. And I don't know if he has a rune up or what, but looks like he went to check rune again. That's okay. I don't really want to go fight him by a rune spot, so that's another thing that I'm going to keep in. Okay, he's got a haste. Is he going to dive? It's a little scary for me to try to use my ulti now because he is so fast. But once again, I have a level advantage. It's going to take a little bit of tower damage. I'm going to be aggressive to him. He does have boots now. I'm going to wait till this haste runs out before I try to kill him. Pop in my bottle to heal up a little bit more. Once again, he only has 500 damage or something. Let's see if he commits to a kill. I'm thinking about it. Alright, and I got him. So there we go. Used my combo. Cold Feet, Ice Vortex, throw the ulti down, he can't heal anymore, and then I just murder him, and it's beautiful. So already at a really big advantage, and I think you're going to start seeing a little bit of a trend here, is that I'm going to outlane the crap out of him every game. And that's something really important that you guys need to understand in Dota. It's like, outlaning is by far the best time to just destroy the crap out of your enemies. I mean, there's always going to be mistakes that people make in team fights and things like that, but as you've seen so far, like, Tony has very little chance at winning now, because I have a 2-kill advantage. I have a gold advantage as well, and an EXP advantage. Dive me, man, dive me. It's going to keep taking tower damage. I think I can actually bottle up. Yeah, I can bottle up through the fire, which is pretty cool. My Vortex is going to be maxed out, and we actually have a rune spotting. So I'm going to go be aggressive and pick that up. I'm going to pop a clarity potion as well, and there he is. Could have maybe gone on him there. Kind of hard to say. I think I might go fight for bot. Let's see. This is what I'm going to do. Just in case he was also going... Oh, he's already there. Alright, so now I'm going to have to fight him. Oh, fuck that up pretty bad. That's okay. I'll get the kill, I think. No, I'm not going to. Damn! I fucked up my ulti. I fucked up my ulti. Alright, so he gets a kill on me. Biggest mistake there, I didn't have an electric vortex. Let me see if the stream is better. No, it's gonna run an ad on me. I'm gonna have to just assume you guys are doing okay. So biggest mistake I made, I put the vortex down here. I should have probably engaged him right here maybe. I messed up my ulti, that was the main thing, so the damage bonus, the 250 damage from my ulti, did not go through. So that was by far the biggest mistake I made there. And even the idea of fighting him like that in a situation like that where I didn't have tower cover is a little iffy. So he does get some advantage back because I made a mistake, and that's something you're always gonna have to deal with. Magic Wand in this case is bad. Because he's a Huskar and he's never really going to be casting spells. But in a normal game, I'm going to pick that up anyway. So here he is. I might be able to get a kill. Put the vortex down just to get vision of him. I could throw my ulti out there. We still have about 30 seconds left here, so despite making that moderate mistake there, I'm still in an advantage. I'm going to just push the lane a little bit because I still feel pretty confident about fighting him. That's another mistake. He did pop his heal. Once again, the scary part is that Ancient Apparition does need positioning to be in my favor, so I'm going to put a Cold Feet down just to force him back here. Do a little bit of damage to him. I do have the mana to spare, so... Give me the last hit, yes. And I think he might have had to go back to heal. It is nighttime, so it's a little scary. And it's about 10 minutes here, so... It might be a while before he comes back and tries to kill me again, is the thing. But even still, he spent a lot of time not in lane, not last hitting. The only time he really had a CS advantage was probably when he hit a double damage. I'm gonna get him, but he did get a kill on me using Invis there. That was pretty well done. So he does get the level advantage. He gets experience from that, but I don't. But I have been getting last hits, so I think that was a lot more even than the previous one. Partially because he did a lot of runing, but once again, kind of gimmicky. If he wasn't getting invisibilities, things like that would have made a difference. Okay, we can go to the next one. But either way, you know, he's spending a lot of time on runes.
Alright.
I don't know what the gold advantage is, but I feel like I probably had much better items.
I think I would have probably come back from that just because I'm more of a carry.
Well, yeah, but that's a late game situation, you know.
Yeah.
Alright, so that was probably a very extreme example of a counter to Ancient Apparition. Huskar is pretty tricky to fight.
I was at about a quarter health when I dove you there.
Yeah, I know. That was a pretty tricky situation for him, in my opinion. Or, for me. He kind of had a hero counter against my hero. I would argue that Huskar is really good against Ancient Apparition. He has positioning movement, he does a lot of physical damage, and Ancient Apparition doesn't just have a hard disable. It's like, if I get dove, I have to go all in with my abilities. And in that position, that last death there, I made a mistake and I didn't pop my ulti. It's really hard to do close range ultis anyways, but... why don't we do a melee? I'll do melee, you'll do ranged in this one, okay? So I think I'm going to do like a Night Stalker or something like that, this game. Night Stalker or Beastmaster, not sure which. But what I'm going to be focusing on this time is doing a melee versus a range situation, so now I'm going to be at a range disadvantage. And let's see if I can outlane him here, and I can talk about the reasons that I have been. So, Night Stalker or Beastmaster. I think I'm gonna do... Let's do a Night Stalker. Night Stalker is a little bit easier for me to play. So I'm gonna pick a Night Stalker. He's gonna counter pick me. We'll see what he goes for. I'm not really sure what he'll do, but if I were him, I would do something like... There's lots of good heroes that he could pick up, to be honest, that are gonna generally show some laning properties. He's got about 30 seconds to pick here. I so far feel like this is working out okay in terms of demonstrating a couple things. I mean, it's not that different than me playing first-person view and showing you guys why I'm winning, but just having really, really strong laning presence makes a big deal. Making sure that you get all your last hits.
10 seconds remaining.
You spend a lot of time in lane. You check runes, but you don't spend a ton of time checking runes like Twisco has been so far.
Remaining.
That loses him levels. Looks like he's going... Shadow Fiend. I know he does not know how to play Shadow Fiend. This is going to be kind of a joke, but... There is my gold. Buying Animal Courier. And last hitting items. Since I'm up against a ranged hero, he doesn't actually have a lot of damage early on, so what I'm going to do is focus more on just getting crap loads of last hits. This is another example, something that I haven't really beaten into your heads yet in this video, is the fact that you always have to look at your opponent and say, you have to look at their disadvantages and their advantages, and you have to exploit them. It's very, very important. So what I want to exploit now is I want to make sure that Shadow Fiend doesn't get a lot of last hits, because then his base damage is still going to be very low, and he's going to have a hard time harassing me and outlast hitting me. And I know Twisco isn't that good at Shadow Fiend anyway, so it's pretty much going to be a very, hopefully for me, a very one-sided fight. Now we do have the courier once again. I will be maxing out Void pretty early here. I'm going to be doing blocks and things like that, but if I play this correctly, Twisco should be completely shut down, and once it's nighttime it'll be completely over, because if I have a farm advantage there, I'm going to have obscene power because it'll be nighttime, and that'll be really good for me. So I'll probably pick up Crippling Fear at some point, but we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to pick it up at level 2 or not.
The battle begins.
This is a little bit of a weirder situation. If I was laning against maybe like a ranged hero, a ranged caster like a Lion or something, I would definitely get Crippling Fear, because that's going to be really useful for me at night. And creep blocking, once again, very important. These creeps are kind of wide, so I'm going to try to get a pretty good creep advantage. If I can get the creep wave to be... This is where you go all in with blocking pretty much. That guy phased right through me, but that's okay. So I have perfect creep block here. This is the best possible place for the creep block to go on. It looks like Tony once again did rune checking. And it's very important to get these last hits, especially as a melee hero. If you can get any of these last hits, it's a big deal. So once again, he's trying to focus on doing this rune crap, and it is an illusion, so, which is actually a very, very good early rune to have, believe it or not, because you should be getting every single last hit and deny. I don't know if he gets souls for his creeps. I don't know if he gets souls himself, if his illusions get the last hit, and so far he's not doing very good. So it looks like the real one is this one right here. So I can be aggressive to this. I'm even going to do it. So I'm going to be aggressive to him now. And this is a pretty big mistake by him. Look how much damage I just did. I took about 300. I used one Void. And now I'm going to tango up. My armor level is pretty high, but all of a sudden he's made a mistake.
Burn to salve.
He's already lost a salve worth of HP. I lost 300 HP, which isn't as big of a deal. But, you know, as a semi-squishy hero, he's down to 200 HP right now. That's really dangerous. And if I look at his starting items, he actually has kind of weird items for Shadow Fiend, but not too bad. And now I can start to really dominate him in this lane. I could also cast Void for these last hits. God, the fact that I can last hit that already is ridiculous. Night Sucker has such good base damage. My tangos are out. I've got 350 gold. Now I'm going to rely a little bit more on Void to get last hits, but even still, definitely still focus on countering him. I don't want him to get those last hits. I don't know how many souls he has currently. It's getting a little bit of harass going down, and I'm going to hit him just once there as I back up. Oops. Once again, very important to deny all creeps.
I remember the first day.
And I mean, really outlaning somebody is really about capitalizing on mistakes as well as just basic lane properties. And so far, what's happened? Has he accomplished anything here? I'm going to pick up a fear level. He keeps doing these, like, I mean, he's just a terrible Shadow Fiend player, which is part of the problem, but I'm almost at my bottle now. He has one tango left over. I do have my bottle. Do I want to make it or do I want to make an urn? It's kind of a hard question. More or less hitting. Going down, and I'm going to use Void to grab that one, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to, so let's go for an urn. I'm going to grab an urn here. I'm going to buy one of those, and let's bring that to me. It's going to give me some mana regen. Once again, going to use Void to get a little bit of farm and experience up. I'm a little bit worried because he does have max HP here, so he's going to use a, hopefully, that looked like a very small amount of damage there.
I stop my next meal.
And I'm going to pop myself to healing up. I'm going to try to also farm boots before I hit level 6. I could maybe do some rune checking, but... And he's actually doing a little bit of last hitting now. He really likes spamming these raises, but it's not very good to use them unless you're at a odd number, like 5. That's another nice thing about solo laning, is mana management. Finally he got a deny. Looks, he has a soul. If you use mana management, it's very good. For example, you don't want to spam your nukes at level 2s and 4s because you're about to hit level 3 and get a new level point of it. It's basically like a new point in which your ability is much stronger. And he should really, he's not using his ranged advantage right now. He could be standing right here hitting me every time I come up the last hit. So that's probably the biggest mistake that he's been making so far. And once again, look at this. He's not even trying to get any of these last hits. He should be getting every single one of these. And he's spent time... Oh, he's got a double damage. That's really cool, man. But look at this. First of all, he's going to take a little bit of tower damage. He's got the double damage, so he's going to have a little bit of lane control for a while here. He is actually accruing souls, which is good for him, but... You know, it's 4.5 minutes in here. I'm almost level 6. It's going to be nighttime semi-soon. And he just now has a 16 damage bonus on Shadow Fiend. I really shouldn't let it be hitting me like that. Once he has double damage up, it's very dangerous. I should have maybe casted Voids to get some of these last hits here, but that is okay. Alright, it is almost nighttime. I'm going to pick up Hunter in the Night here. Continue to get last hits. And it's like, Tony basically doesn't understand laning enough. He doesn't know how to use his hero without getting runes. I mean, he's been picking up a lot of runes, which is great and all, but he's not able to leverage his hero just by having a ranged attack. That's something that's really important in the game. I mean, I'm getting all these last hits on stuff that I really shouldn't have last hits on. I'm going to pick up a bottle, and I could pick up boots maybe, but I think I want a little bit more mana regen. I'm basically about to dominate the shit out of him. He's already at a pretty huge disadvantage by letting me get so much farm. Obviously, there's no like gank coming either way for either one of us in this game, but that's not a big deal. Okay, there's my bottle. I'm going to heal up. It's about to become night, and then Twisco's about to lose the game. In a very short period of time. I'm going to start spamming on him just to focus his HP down a little bit. I'm going to pop another bottle charge. I have 10 seconds, and now it is nighttime. 2, 1, so now I can be more aggressive.
It's over.
He's not going to be able to check a rune. He knows it's over, but he's absolutely right. So what am I going to do? I'm going to rune whore. If he finds me, or if I find him by any single rune, the game is pretty much over. So now I'm going to get a kill. Sup, dude? Where's he going? Okay, he should have ran this way. He was going to die either way, but... And, of course, he's bad at the hero, so... I'm going to pick up another Void, and now I have an urn. Now I have a bottle, so I can be even more aggressive. I'm going to pick up the boots. I'm going to grab this. And now the game is absolutely over. He absolutely let me get fed here. And that, I mean, the early game like that first 6 minutes, is the most important time to try to shut down a Night Stalker. And he absolutely missed that opportunity, so... And now I can pretty much get every single last hit. I'm extremely fast. I can gank other lanes as I grab runes. That's pretty much it. So I can now do ninja things. I can go on the high ground. I can come around here. I can spam Void because I have a bottle. Everything's cool. I can even fake out raises. So he doesn't know how to cancel them. Can't believe he has his ulti. That's pretty funny. Yeah, he's pretty bad. Oh, man. And I'm just gonna... I like maxing out Hunter in the Night first. I know it's good to extend your nighttime or whatever, but when you're rocking this hard, you can really make things go pretty much in your favor, so... we can probably end the video now. Now that I'm outlaning the crap out of him and there's really nothing he can do. He absolutely let me get fed because he wasn't able to leverage his ranged abilities. He let me get too much farm, and since I'm a better player, I can now capitalize on that and just destroy the
I think I need to get
game.
better survivability items in the beginning.
No, you just need to suck less at laning. I'll talk to you about it afterwards, or we can talk about it now. We might as well back out of the game. This is completely one-sided now, and I could just kill you endlessly at this point. Alright, so back out of the game.
It's night.
Alright, so I pretty much had a ridiculous advantage there. Your major problems that's letting me just own the shit out of you is, first of all, you spend all of your time checking for runes, which isn't necessarily something you should be doing. If your hero doesn't really capitalize on them, like a Huskar, he doesn't, like... I mean, the illusions are great and all, but, like, your last hitting is, first of all, not good. I mean, you're not even spending time in the lane. You're so scared of me as a player. Like, I understand that you know who I am, and therefore that I'm much better than you are, but... You're so scared, you don't spend any time in your lane, and you let me get free farm, you let me get free EXP. I check runes and stuff, but I don't, like, bust my ass to get runes like you have been doing. And sure, you got the rune every single time, pretty much, in all 3 games we played, but as you can tell, it didn't matter. You know, you'd let me get
Usually
such a
I don't go
advantage.
for runes like that.
Well,
usually I just
have,
land...
honestly. Like, if you have a bottle, yeah, go check runes and whatever, but you shouldn't be spending so much time checking runes at each 2-minute mark. That was probably the biggest mistake I made.
Most times I never even had to go to both. I had my courier there, so I knew which one to go to.
Oh, okay. Alright, so that's cool. But that's, either way, you spend a lot of time runes, you spent a lot of time not in lane. That's pretty much what it felt like the entire game, is you didn't spend time in the lane ever. It just never happened. And you didn't take your advantage. When I was the melee hero there, you had a ranged advantage. You have to literally stand in lane and attack me every time I get a last hit. I could have been solo in that lane, and it would have been pretty much the same thing. I mean, I lost a few last hits where you zoned me out of it by being in a melee position, but primarily, that was like an easy game, especially the Night Stalker. I got so much farm there, and so many levels, and denied you of a lot of last hits. Not that you know how to play Shadow Fiend. As soon as I saw you pick the hero, I knew it was like extremely one-sided.
Yeah.
But, you didn't spend time in lane. You didn't take your ranged hero advantage. Like, remember how I laned against you when I was Lion? I didn't even need to stun you, and I burned all your regen out pretty much. I had to spend a little bit of mana, and I forced you out of the lane. You had no regen, and then you took bad item choices by buying a magic wand, and then you had no regen, and the game was over. Because you couldn't get a kill on me, pretty much, unless you got like a lucky rune off or something. And you got kills on me with Huskar, but that was a bad lane matchup for me. And I made a few slight mistakes, of course, but, you basically never had any lane presence in all 3 of those games, and that put me in like a ridiculously good solo mid position, where I could have ganked on side lanes and just pretty much dominated.
Yeah, I agree. I probably should buy a bottle instead of wand when I'm going solo mid. If
you're playing Purge, yes. Not on Huskar. Yes on Shadow Fiend. Like, don't make your wand so early. It's a really expensive item for the early game, and it doesn't give you a lot of contribution. It's a great mid-game item, or it's a good item if you're ganking side lanes from the middle sometimes, but there's almost always going to be better choices than a fast wand on Shadow Fiend and Pudge. Both of them usually pretty much always are going to need a bottle, so that was also a big mistake. So with bad item choices and bad play, I was able to just pretty much dominate you those 2 games. The Huskar Ancient Apparition was still pretty equal, but I had a lot more farm than you, and I was still 1 kill up on you, partially because of your ridiculously bad mistake, but I think that's about it. So I'm going to close out the video now. So thanks for doing this with me, and stop talking, okay? Because I'm going to close out the video. You can say goodbye if you want to. No, you don't want to say goodbye? Okay, that's fine.
Alright, goodbye.
Alright, so thanks for everybody that's watching. This is going to be a YouTube VOD, so if you guys are watching on the streaming and you're confused, that's what's going to happen. So just generally, I just wanted to talk about a lot of very, very basic outlaning properties, laning properties. That was more of a one-on-one solo mid situation than a 2 versus 2 situation, but the same properties apply. As a ranged hero, you can force them out of your lane, if they're melee, if they make bad item decisions, and if they're not good at laning. It's like completely one-sided, as we saw in the first game and the third game. So if you guys get good at laning and you know when to dive, when to use your mana, things like that, it really puts you in a ridiculously good situation. I personally feel that one of my greatest strengths as a Dota player is how good I am at laning. I generally make stupid mistakes sometimes, and that screws up everything that I worked for. But if I do a good job and don't make those mistakes, all of a sudden I have a giant gold advantage, I have a giant EXP advantage, and I don't end up dying and I get kills. So all of a sudden you just can really, really dominate your pub games. So if you guys take those tips and tricks, hopefully you can play better as well. If you guys have any questions about this, leave them in comments below and I will respond to them after I read them. And I think that's it. So thanks for watching on YouTube, and I'll see you guys later.